Hey guys, Sarah here. Welcome to another homeschooling video. Today I'm going to take you guys along on a tour of our newer homeschool space, which we have moved our homeschool into our dining room and adapted our dining room to be a craft area, an eating area, a homeschooling learning area. I mean, everything happens at this kitchen table, but also I wanted things that could easily move around the house. So I'm going to share how we have set up our dining room to be a very multi-purpose room and how I have everything stored and organized very cheaply. I just rearranged some furniture in my house. I haven't bought anything new for this, but I wanted to show how you can take a dining room or an eating space or an eating kitchen and make it a homeschool room, but also make it still beautiful and functional. But you're able to use this room for a lot of different purposes. So let's jump right in. So this room is super multi-purpose because when guests enter our house from the front door, they come through this door and right into our home, into our dining room. It's connected to our kitchen and our living room, and so it has lots of purposes, and we are just so grateful for the character of our home and how cute it is, but it also has to have a lot of functionality. So we do have this nice closet here, but that's actually our pantry. We don't enter our house normally through the front door, only guests do, so it just didn't make sense to use this as a coat closet when we really needed the pantry space. And of course we always have our little greeter, Mr. Artichoke. So this is what the room looks like. We have this beautiful bay window, which serves as a dance stage for our kids. They like to crank the music and dance in the window. Also, it's a great place to dry crafts and to put trays of things they're kind of in the middle of. So we are very grateful for the bay window, and it's just beautiful and lets in a ton of light. And then of course, this brick, which actually has bricks from the Chicago fires, brought up and used a lot in the 70s, which is when our house was built. So we love this room. We have our giant table here, which is super sentimental to me now, especially because my dad had a horrible accident about 7 weeks ago at the filming of this video, and he and my mom had made this table for me quite a few years ago now, and it's been dinged and it's kind of separating and stuff, but I could always refinish it, but it just is perfect for this space and means so much to my family because he's been in the hospital with the TBI, and I don't know if he'll ever be able to build and do those kinds of things anymore. So it's a very special piece to us. That is where we do most of our crafting and all of our learning for the most part. So let's turn around right here. Our kids a few years ago decided to hang up all their artwork here, so we're constantly changing out artwork, and I actually just really love how it looks, and it brightens up the space, and it just screams family with kids, and I don't want my house to look like there are no kids here because they're a huge part of our family. We moved our desk in here. We don't have the keyboard or mouse out because hashtag 2-year-olds. They're in the drawer. But we moved it here for multiple reasons. First of all, to be able to monitor our kids if they are getting to the age where they can be on the computer. Also, it's great if we're doing a learning video or something. My kids can sit here, we can learn. If they're doing like a drawing video or some kind of educational video that they have to follow along with, we can play that on here. I can kind of tilt it, and they can do that as well. So it's just a great spot to have a computer. Over here, this was a buffet we did have over here, but I needed this dresser in here, and I'll show you why in a little bit. But the dresser was way too big to fit here. It was way too tall, so I just swapped these. But this is a dresser I refinished into like a buffet where we hold a lot of stuff. I'll show you in a second. Here, I switch this out from time to time. It's basically just lots of different activities my kids can just grab and take to the table when we're doing lessons or when they just have some free time. And we've got our OG Polly Pockets from my childhood that my 2-year-old plays with every single day. She loves those. On here, I mainly just keep this little caddy from Target with our crayons and colored pencils. Our Yodo player, which I love. I have a whole video on this if you want to see like how we use it and stuff, and I'll be doing more updates on that as well. And then we have our beautiful wooden calendar for when we do calendar time. It's great for, you know, talking about weather, and my 2nd grader is learning, you know, how to write the dates and counting weeks and things like that, so it's a great reference for that as well. We just keep this mason jar of pencils, and we've got some different timers here we use for various things, and we just keep this on a nice little tray. And then we have our IKEA 3-tiered cart where I keep most of our homeschool stuff. So I've got binders with curriculum, different curriculum books, and our Awana books, different resources down here like for math and just different things we pull out from time to time, like sight word flashcards and handwriting books and our base 10 blocks and things like that. So that's all here, and I can easily pull that to the table when we are doing homeschool time and put it away when we're not using it. And then I'll just quick show you what's in these drawers. This drawer is all of our Yodo stuff. So I have these binders that have Yodo cards in them. We've got these mini ones the girls sometimes fill up and take to the rooms. And we've got headphones and noise canceling headphones here. Here is our coloring book stash, so they can just take these out and color them. Here we have the different things you can use with the calendar. So it's right here. And construction paper and paper for when they're coloring. This drawer is aprons and bibs and things for when we have little ones in the house. This is our Play-Doh drawer, so I can easily take this bin of Play-Doh tools and Play-Doh out. We've got little Disney Doorables they play with a lot, play foam. I've got these letter stampers for the Play-Doh, so they love that. This is my small supply of like decorative runners and little pendant banners. Here I have a protective vinyl tablecloth, so if we're playing Duplos or anything super messy, it's got like felt on one side, or fleece I guess on one side, and then vinyl on the other, so it's not going to wreck the table and it's easy to clean. And then I keep our trays in here. So these are Lakeshore trays. We have a set of 4. We do crafts on here, painting. If they're doing Polly Pockets, I put them on here. Kinetic sand. We use these all day, every day. My kids love them. And then this little plastic strawberry tray is what I use to homeschool in other areas. So I'll just load this up with whatever materials, and we can take this to the living room. We can take it to the playroom, we can take it outside, and this is how I kind of homeschool throughout the house, so we don't have to be in the dining room all the time. And then this last drawer is our Shopkins drawer. My kids play with these almost every day. We've got Shopkins mostly from garage sales and birthdays, and then this mini mart that goes along with it, so they can take that to the table and play with it. And that's everything in this buffet here. Over here on the hearth of the fireplace, I just keep books and different things we reference from time to time. So we are doing this devotional together. We have our prayer book. We have a whole bunch of these different conversation cards that we will do often at supper time, so we can easily grab those. I do this Alpha Block book almost every day with my 2-year-old to learn her ABCs. That I need to put back, but we were reading that at Christmas time. Other devotional, dinner table devotions. We've been reading this at snack now and then. And then our Where the Sidewalk Ends, Shel Silverstein poems we will read from time to time. So I just keep this here so I can easily grab things out of it. And then here's the big change to this room. We now have this dresser, which was in the playroom, and has so many great things, but we weren't using a lot of the stuff because it was in the playroom, and we don't often do table activities down there anymore. We mainly just play and color down there. So over here I have our Octagon playpen, which I use all the time to contain my 2-year-old if she's doing something messy, or if my older kids are doing something like a sensory bin or something I don't want my 2-year-old getting into. I'll have them go in here, and it's got a floor so that, you know, if they're doing kinetic sand in there, it's easy to clean up. It's not getting all over the house and stuff like that. Up here on top of the dresser are just little caddies that we can take to the table. So we've got dry erase markers and an eraser here, which I'll show you why in a second. We've got our pencil sharpener, which I don't want my 2-year-old to get to. This caddy is scissors, glue sticks, stapler, tape dispenser, and then they have washi tape, so they can take this to the table. And this is our marker and dauber caddy. So all things that they can take to the table if they're wanting. And this is our little bin of kind of in the middle of working on projects that they've started or wanting to add to it. Like they've been obsessed with painting squishies. My husband made this artwork for my 5-year-old, and he's going to do this for all the girls, and so I'm going to laminate them and put them in there on their doors. So just stuff like that. If they're kind of in the middle of working on something, we put it in here. We've got our tracing boards up here, which are just really pretty. And then, you know, we've got cookbooks and dining room type artwork and canisters and stuff in here too, because it still is a dining room. This is our, I don't know what to do with these drawers. We've got Mancala and we've got these like Imagine Ink books here. This is our craft bin. So like if I buy crafts at Hobby Lobby or Target and they haven't done them yet, I just throw them in here so they know to look there. These are little learner busy box crafts and activities I got that my 2-year-old will start doing soon, so we can just pull these out. These are all of our Osmo things, so they're like little stands and activities you can do with a Kindle or an iPad that they're like video games, but also that you use manipulatives, so I love those. In here I just have a whole bunch of different table activities we can pull out anytime we want. Same down here, so just different activity sets and letters and things for our dry erase board and stuff like that. On this side we have mainly puzzles in here, different kinds of puzzles for different ages. And then we also have like jigsaw puzzles in here, a parachute, and then these little bean bags in here as well. And then under this, I keep our dry erase board. So it looks like this, it folds up. There's a grid, like graphing side, and then there's just a plain side. So that's what the dry erase markers are for. So if we're doing math, or I'm trying to explain something, or my daughter's practicing her spelling or something like that, we can pull that out. It's just a fun way to learn, and then I don't have to have a dry erase board on the wall. We can just pull it out. And then over here on this little tiny wall space, we have our checker and chessboard our 8-year-old got for Christmas. We have not been doing different verses that come with our curriculum, but when we were, we would switch this out. So now I just leave this because it's a great verse. But we do our Awana verses, and that's plenty of verses to learn. But if you're doing a curriculum with a different verse every week or every few weeks, you can put it on a little stand like this. Here we have little boredom buster popsicle sticks. I did these years ago, so if the girls are really bored, they can come draw a stick and do whatever it says. So it's a fun way to remember like all the different things they can play in our house. So that's there. This is not super organized, and it's obviously been very loved, but this is where I keep a lot of craft stuff. We've got stamps, those little scrubby color things. I've got just random like hot glue gun and stuff like that. We have slime and modeling clay. My girls started these binders with their favorite artwork. Stickers, a sewing kit, bracelet making kits, and then we have tons of these sensory kits my kids play with all the time with Play-Doh or kinetic sand. So I have some here and some down here. And then I have, these are their piggy banks. They are give, save, spend boxes. So our 2-year-old doesn't do this yet, but when she does, we will make room for her to have one as well. So that's in here. Very stuffed with things, but we use this all the time. And then lastly, just around the corner here, we have this cabinet, which is our craft cabinet now. I've used it for books as well in the past, but I've rearranged so it is seen from the living room, but it's not that noticeable. So right now, if I'm kind of getting stuff out of the way of fighting, like this vacuum, it's up there. I have some tracing, some giant paper up there. We've got a sensory bin. This is our crazy craft bin, which I pull out. My 5-year-old's obsessed, so like anytime she's home during nap time, she doesn't nap anymore. So when my 2-year-old's napping, we get that out and she just creates just random craft supplies in there. So it's not super organized, but it works for now. I've got a bunch of different drawer units. This is all painting stuff here. We've got perler beads. This is yarn and daubers, felt, beads, and just different random craft stuff there. I have to come up with a better solution for craft kits and stuff like that, but this is seriously just random stuff. Balloons and these little puffs that you can stick together. We've got a bead set, glue, binoculars, crayon sharpener. Like I said, could be more organized, but it works well enough for now. I just kind of crammed all this in here. This is just random stuff we use once in a while for crafts, like Mod Podge and cornstarch and different activities, buttons, kinetic sand, and these nice wooden trays for that. My oldest got a fabric glue set and squishies to paint for Christmas, so that's there. And then just scrapbook paper and random stuff here. And then these are all like sensory sets and different things that we've collected over the years. Felt mat sets that go along with these from Just Add Imagination Co. So they have, like, here's the mermaid set. Comes with these beautiful hand painted peg dolls and fabric felt mats and homes and things like that that go with these wooden trays. And then I also have added like shells and stuff like that from Hobby Lobby. So we have quite a few of these sets. We love them. And so those are all in here if they're ever wanting to play with them. So I just came downstairs really quickly to show you guys our playroom now, because I have had this set up as a homeschool room in the past and have videos on that I'll leave below. But it's mainly just a playroom now. We still have our map and we still have like our nature set here. But we've got our nugget, we've got this magnetic board that's been there. We still have like some homeschool stuff here, like our history timeline. But mainly they just play down here. It's a great place to come in the winter when it's too cold to go outside and they just need a change of scenery. My girls will do Legos here. I also have not really organized this. I want to do a better job of that, but this was where all that craft stuff was. That's in the cabinet upstairs. And now it's kind of become like a Lego cabinet, so my girls can take their Lego creations to the table. We have their little Lego drawers of Legos here. But then, like, if we're having littler kids over or we want to do something else at the table, we can put them all back. So I want to somehow add more shelves to these so we can fit more, but that's what's in here, plus just some color pencils and markers, tattoos, scissors and stuff from my daycare days. I still have a lot of that stuff I don't want to get rid of just yet, so that's what's in this cabinet. And we still have my Anne of Green Gables quote here that I love. And we do keep most of our books down here for kids' books, so we have tons of homeschool books and different things. I have some toys and stuff in here that we rotate upstairs. And lots of like wooden puzzles, which I'll switch out in that drawer system I have upstairs that we switch out from time to time. And then I do store some stuff up here. This is where I moved all the kids' books. So they're all right here now. And then on this side I do have some craft sets that they've gotten over the years for gifts, Christmas books, and just some little sets of animals and things like that. But that's basically how we have this room set up now. I hope you enjoyed seeing our dining slash homeschool slash crafting space and how we have adapted our dining room into a homeschooling space that still functions as a dining room. Hope this gave you some ideas for how to organize and use your home for homeschooling. It doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to have a homeschool room. It actually just didn't work out well for us to do that. It felt like we were forcing ourselves to learn in an area that just was really stressful with a 2-year-old who wanted to go upstairs and explore more. So it just worked out really, really well, and we can still bring the tray around the house and homeschool anywhere. That's the beauty of homeschooling in your home. If you like this video, I would love if you'd subscribe and become part of our Glue Stick family. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.